Soon I was surrounded by solicitous schoolgirls who coddled me, teased me, held my hand, pressed me into their blouses, and kissed me in a kind of competition for me, which ended only with the arrival of a big nun. In the case of my Winnipeg, I shot a lot of it on HD video, but when I was dealing with nostalgic anecdotes, they didn't sort of sit well in that medium, I found, in the final analysis after the movie was cut together. So I projected a lot of the HD episodes that had been cut together onto my fridge and reshot them on film. I like HD though, and it has tons of potential, and even the looks that David Lynch got with Inland Empire on mini DV or whatever were incredible, as far as I was concerned. Very versatile in its own, and it's its own look. I had hoped that this film would help me break through and somehow occupy my own space in the world of video, and that'll come, but it just didn't happen on this project because, as it turns out, you know, you've got to have the right medium for the right script and vice versa. So I think without realizing it, even though I was making a documentary, I was making a documentary that was meant to be on film. For some reason, my favorite video form isn't HD, but it's a cell phone. I love the look at this point in time, anyway. The 2008 cell phone technology is perfect. I'm sure by next year it'll be ruined somehow. So I've got to buy as many cell phones as possible this year to last me for the next, 20 years or something like that.
Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
There's the deer fur and the blood and the dent, just like I said.
I wasn't born yesterday, dearie. Where did it happen? In the back seat?
Where did what happen?
The real party. Did he pin you down, or did you just lie down and let nature take its course?
Mother. She knows how to read all the signs, those gentle substitutions for dark wishes.
Who did it? Was it the boy
in a Darwinian way, I was selected to make movies like this because I can make them better this way. I'd be terrible if I set out to make something that was performed on the naturalistic end of the spectrum, performance spectrum. So I'm just stronger at making artificial things. And my whole way of approaching books when I read them is I approach them as if they were fairy tales, whether they are or not. It's just an intersection of a bunch of ways. My way of approaching reading films and books and paintings, and also my way of making them all just meet in a comfort zone for me there. In general, I like even silent movies, just because they so aggressively just assert themselves as artifice. They're as artificial as your grandmother reading you a bedtime story. You don't get caught up in literal mindedness, a point-by-point, earthbound literal mindedness that what's happening is literally true. Whereas even I, as a viewer of Friday night premieres, going out to movies with some fresh popcorn and Coke, get caught up and find myself going, well, things aren't like that in real life, or something like that, but a movie's obligation is to not be literally true, but to have some sort of essence of truth.
What have you not done as a filmmaker that you want to do?
I just want to show people that films that are kind of made the way children make art when they're in art time at kindergarten, this sort of things that go directly from feelings to the page can work in really inspiring ways on the screen. Winnipeg, snowy, sleepwalking Winnipeg. My home for my entire life. Half of the great myths about a country that go into making a country's identity are based on fact, and the other half are some sort of generated out of some species of campfire story. So you get things like, in America's case, you get Johnny Appleseed and Daniel Boone and Paul Bunyan and Abe Lincoln, and no one even knows exactly which people really existed, but they all exist as mythologized versions of themselves anyway, reduced versions, some facts trimmed off, some embarrassing ones that don't quite jive with the note. And Canadians are such lousy self-mythologizers, they refuse to do it, as a matter of fact, and so they have no national identity. So I had to make up for like 100 years worth of negligence and in this one movie, and sort of put all the Winnipeg history that I had heard and put them all into one big bouillabaisse. And what I'm hoping is that when this film finally plays in late June in Winnipeg, that the town will just collectively run me out of the city on a rail. That's right, yeah.
Winnipeg.